The rain was relentless, soaking her thin coat as she stood trembling at the entrance of the tall glass building. Clutching her soaked resume, Emma tried to breathe. Inside that building was her last chance. The final interview. No food in her stomach, no more money in her account. Just one hope. And as the doors opened and the panel turned toward her, she froze. Because sitting at the head of the table was the homeless man she had fed the night before. His eyes met hers, and he slowly stood up, a knowing smile on his face. "Miss Carter, please, come in," he said gently. Emma Carter had always believed in kindness, even when the world gave her very little of it in return. Life had never been easy, but in the past 6 months, it had gone from difficult to almost unbearable. Laid off from her retail job due to downsizing, rent overdue by 2 months, and living on instant noodles and tap water, Emma was fighting not to fall apart. Her mother had passed away 2 years ago, leaving her alone in the world. Her only family now was an aging cat named Daisy and the worn photograph of her mother taped to the fridge, one that reminded her to keep going, no matter what. That morning, Emma had scraped together the last contents of her fridge, half a grilled cheese sandwich from 2 days ago, a bruised apple, and a tiny pack of crackers. It wasn't much, but it would have to do. She had a job interview downtown at 10:30 a.m. The last one. She had already applied to over 40 places. This one was different, though, a promising entry-level position at a prestigious marketing firm. If she got this, she could get her life back on track. As she walked toward the subway station in her scuffed shoes, holding her folder tightly, she passed a homeless man sitting on a bench under a broken shelter. He was shivering, his thin blanket soaked through, and his eyes were red from cold and hunger. Emma hesitated. Her stomach growled. But when she looked at him, she saw something more than poverty. She saw pain, humanity, dignity, buried under layers of dirt and despair. Without thinking, she walked over and knelt beside him. "Here," she said softly, offering him her only food. "It's not much, but it's something." He looked at her with disbelief. You sure?" She smiled, though her lips trembled. "We all need a hand sometimes." He took the food slowly, like he wasn't used to kindness. "What's your name?" "Emma," she said, standing up. "Good luck to you." He nodded, tears in his eyes. "Thank you, Emma. That means more than you know." And with that, she walked off, not knowing she had just changed the course of her life. By the time she reached the office, her coat was soaked through. The receptionist barely looked at her as she signed in. Emma caught a glimpse of her reflection in the lobby mirror, messy hair, damp pants, and the nervous smile of someone desperately trying to hold herself together. The receptionist gave her a skeptical look. "You're here for the 10:30 interview?" "Yes," Emma said, straightening her posture. "Emma Carter." She was escorted to the waiting room, heart pounding. Around her sat polished candidates in tailored suits, with sleek briefcases and confident smiles. Emma felt small, out of place, invisible. "Miss Carter," a voice called. She stood, nearly tripping on her wet shoe, and followed the assistant into the interview room. She expected older executives in stiff suits. She expected cold questions and clipped tones. What she didn't expect was the man from the bench. Except now, he wasn't in rags. He was dressed in a dark tailored suit, clean-shaven, with neatly combed hair. Still the same eyes, but clearer now. Stronger. He stood when she entered, and the other interviewers looked confused as he walked around the table. "Emma Carter, he said warmly. Please, have a seat. She blinked in disbelief. You're... He gave a small smile. My name is Jacob Wren. I'm the founder of this company. Gasps from the other panel members filled the room. Jacob turned to them. Before we continue, I'd like to personally tell you all something about Emma. And then he told them everything, how he had gone undercover for a project, living on the streets for a week to study real outreach programs for the firm's new social responsibility initiative. How dozens of people passed him by without a glance. Only one person stopped. Only one person gave me their last meal, not knowing who I was. She had nothing, yet gave everything. That's the kind of person I want at this company. Emma sat frozen, tears welling up in her eyes. Welcome to the team, Emma, Jacob said, extending his hand. The job is yours. If you want it. Weeks passed, and Emma began her new role, supported by mentors and now a stable income. She quickly rose through the ranks, not because she had a degree or connections, but because she worked harder than anyone, always led with kindness, and inspired everyone around her. She never asked for recognition. She didn't need it. But what she got was more than she could have dreamed. Her rent was paid. Her fridge was full. Daisy got a warm blanket and a vet checkup. And for the first time in years, Emma began to feel like she belonged somewhere. One Friday evening, Jacob invited her for coffee in the office lounge. I want to ask you something, he said. Emma looked up. We're starting a new department. One that partners with shelters, food kitchens, and job placement centers. I want you to lead it. She blinked. Me? You understand what it's like out there, Jacob said gently. You know how powerful a small act of kindness can be. You gave when you had nothing. That's exactly the kind of leadership this world needs. Tears slid down Emma's cheek. She nodded. Yes. I'd be honored. Life has a strange way of rewarding those who give without expecting in return. When you act from the heart, even when no one is watching, the universe notices. Emma's story is proof that a single moment of compassion can echo through the walls of power, change a life, and light the way for others. So next time you see someone in need, remember. What you give may seem small to you. But to someone else, it could mean everything. And who knows? They just might show up again. In the place where your future begins.